Hey guys, we got an oil setup right now. I'm in about 5 contracts, and so we had a short right here at the low value area. As you can see, just the context of today, we were in a down range, a down move, and we had these low value areas which we didn't quite break all the way. I mean, we came back up and tested inside of it and stayed out, and looks like we're moving down to hit that target. So I'll pull my first 3 contracts down here and then see if this thing breaks any lower. But again, basic premise right here is that we have these low value areas, and we kind of came back in. So once we came back into this low value area here, or even here, you can see that once it came back in, it ranged and hit the high value areas, and then we came back in again. So at this point, what you do is you look at the range. So we kind of have like a range at this point. So you can, let me illustrate a little bit better with this box. This is better. So I have this range here, and now we're just kind of going inside, and you can see the moving averages kind of flattened out here. And then really what happened is we finally got a breakdown. So we broke out of it, right? And low value areas pretty much for this entire period. Finally came up and retested it at the 44.39. Came as high as, let's see, 44.42, and now we're moving back down. So again, you got a range, you break out of that range, you sell at the low value area, and you got confluence because it matched up with this low value and this low value, and it just broke below this low value area here, which is just slightly a few ticks below. Actually, I guess the chart is, because the range was so big here, this just looks really small, but really it isn't. It's actually a 10 tick range. So actually that's not very small, that's actually pretty big. So you got break below here as well. So if anything, it could come back up here, but it looks like it's going to hit my target, the 44.17, which from my entry at 44.37 is a 20 tick move. So I'm gonna just scale out 3 contracts, just first trade of the day. And if I were to get out all 5, that would have been about $1,000 a trade right there. So hit that first target right here, and then we're looking for this thing to really break down here. And at that point, we really gotta look at the references. So we gotta go back and say, okay, well, where's kind of holding support? Well, support really, at this point, if it comes down here and bounces, this is gonna be our support. It is kind of testing it first time since Friday, so we might see a bounce, and that's kind of why I'm kind of reserving and exiting out at this 44.17 level, which was around our previous low. So if it holds, we could see a bounce all the way to the other side, as contextually we are very bullish, at least when we look to our left. But really this is only support here. So if it breaks below here at the 44.11, we could look for an additional short if it comes back up, if it doesn't just like completely drop from here down to the next support levels here at the 43.43. But we did kind of come up pretty hard. I mean, we were at $40 level, finally broke down from the $40 level previously on the previous week, and then we surged up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost $6 in a matter of 2 days. So we have run up quite a lot. Whew, excuse me, guys. So going down a little bit more, or kind of correcting, wouldn't necessarily be a surprising thing. So could look to see if this thing really pushes down a lot. And at this point, we are 20 ticks into this move, and I would say I would look to make, I would look to really exit all the way down here at the 43, 42 area, just where this high value area is here that we finally broke out of. And that would be the area where I would expect this market to hold if this market is going to continue going up. So just something to think about there. And we really got to look at the price action here. So it kind of chops around. There's probably a lot of support. And obviously, this is the first time we're testing that area. So we'll see if this low value area holds. But if it doesn't, then I could see this thing really pushing down. So we just kind of be patient there. I got my 3 contracts up. So we just look to see if the runners will hold. And what I will do is, because we've moved down already like 20 some points, I mean, if it reverses against us, I'll go ahead and get out and look for another entry. But at this point, what I did do, move my chart over here, is I did move my 2 contracts left down +1 from my entry. And that way, if it does come against us, you know, I'm not going to lose any money off this trade, basically. So if it does go down, we'll make some more money. And I'll look for some targets down here. But really the end would be the 43.40. So not quite sure if it'll go all the way down there in just, you know, a matter of the next hour or so. But there is a potential. So we'll go ahead and put one down here. So we got 45, just give us some room. And the next one, let's see, we got out 44.17. Looks like the price is kind of averaged down, because really the entry was about 44.37 earlier. Let's see, so that'd be another 30, 40 ticks right there. So we'll look to kind of start scaling out as this thing pushed down. But again, the main thing is you got to look in context of this today. So we had, you know, a downtrend, right, within this context. We're looking for additional entries. There really wasn't any, you know, once it did kind of push down. What you could have done is looked at some of these areas down here. And I mean, this area technically could have been a buy, just because that was the point of control and near the support level, but that would be a lot higher risk trade, I guess. But always, you know, you're gonna have your stops. So with that in mind, you know, you're always gonna know exactly how much you're willing to lose anyway. And that could have been a good, what, 44.30, 10, 20, 30, and let's see if we went all the way back up here, you know, 40 tick move maybe. And then within this context, you got to look and see, okay, when it came back up here, you know, because we're in a downtrend, you could have shorted here. So this really could have been our initial entry. I didn't take that trade, but 44.70, 44.80 could have been an entry right there. 13 tick stop above there, never would have got hit, and then we move all the way back down, right, from high to low. So from downtrend, first really trade of the day would have been a reversal hitting the high value area, and a downtrend for your first short actually came almost all the way back to the low value area at the end of the day on Friday, right? So this support level turned resistance, because we broke through it, is now holding, right? Came back up for a second test. We're already in a downtrend, so the trade to take would have been a short to push it further down, and then we just broke low value area here, right? So we took that short, and we're looking for this thing to continue moving down from here. So, you know, within the context, you can still make trades like that. Overall context, bigger picture, last week we had a huge bullish move, so we will look to take profits at these support levels as you kind of move down. But again, once we kind of push through here, there isn't a whole lot of support. As you can see, just shot right through here. So we could kind of look for this thing to accelerate. But again, if it holds, it holds. So we would have to look for a possible move back up. But the context is, you know, we took the short here because it broke the low value area, broke out of the balance, and we're looking for this thing to push down further. So again, that was a trade for this particular hour, and if there's another setup, we'll see what happens. All right, guys. So again, this is our oil short breakout of low value area after a downtrend and consolidation within a range. Broke out to the downside, came back up, retested low value area, and we did a short. So pretty simple. And again, you know, this trade strategy literally works based off of levels that are established through low value and high value areas on market profile, and it works consistently, as you guys can see. So all this other stuff you wouldn't have taken, you know, like maybe there was some other strategy out there to trade this, but you wouldn't have known that there was a high, low, high, and it would eventually range, right? So the trade that works for me is, you know, establish trend, right? Continue to sell as it comes up and retest low value area if we're in a downtrend. If we're going against the downtrend, look for high value areas to short with a 13 tick stop, right? In this case, this one worked right here. And when it comes against you, look to exit, right? Because one thing I don't talk about, I guess, is where these exits are going to be. You would exit on the other side where the low value area was that broke, right? Because we were expecting this low value area to hold. Once we broke below it, it didn't. Broke back inside, came all the way back up to this high value area, and once we shorted here, you would look to exit back at the low value area, which it did touch, bounced, but then broke down. So at this point, you look for another short, which was the previous low value area. Because of the confluence, took that short, was very easy short there. Didn't really hesitate much after it touched it. About another 5 minutes, and 5-10 minutes later, came back to the lows that it reversed from after it broke through the low value area, right? So now we're looking for this thing to continue, and that's pretty much the trade. So we'll see what happens as we continue to break, if we start to continue to break down lower. And with that said, I'll close the video, and if there's another trade, we'll look at the other trade. But that was a quick, you know, I got $660 off the table. Was $1,000 trade if I took all 5 contracts off the table, but I'm looking for this thing to run a little bit further, maybe make, you know, $1,500 to $2,000 off this trade, but yet to see. I'll go ahead and close this video out. Again, I think I mainly focus more on the entries. We can look at exits later on, but these videos are mainly for entries and the actual trade setups. So see what trade sets up later today. Still got a lot of opportunity, guys. All right, so talk to you guys soon. All right.